Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to our Friday morning Lenten reading. My name is Juan. I'm one of the ministers at Unity on the Bay, and it is great to connect with you on a Friday. Usually we connect on Tuesdays and Thursdays with the morning meditations that go live on Facebook and YouTube at 8:30 in the morning. But during this time of Lent, we're also adding this Friday 10 a.m. Lenten reading. Reverend Chris, our other minister, does this on Wednesdays at 10 also. So I'm just waiting to show up on my Facebook feed here. Let's see. So good morning, Callie. I guess I showed up on your Facebook feed. Well, thank you for joining us, Callie. So good to see you. And I will trust that although this video isn't showing up on my personal Facebook feed, that it is on there. Let me see if I can do this one more time. There we go. All right. So welcome, everyone. And so today is Friday, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. I hope no one has gotten you too bad so far. But as I was saying, during Lent, we've been coming on and on Wednesdays and Fridays reading from the Lenten Reading from the 2022 Lenten booklet by the Unity movement by UWH. And you can get the Release and Renew a Spiritual Practice for Lent booklet if you don't have it yet. You can get it by going to our website and signing up for it, and you can get your own free digital copy. But I'm going to read to you what the reading is for today and just share a few words about that. For Friday, April 1st, the affirmation is, I release thoughts or fears of illness. When I don't feel well physically, it's easy to forget the truth of my well-being, that my body is constantly seeking health, balance, and strength. After a recent bout of pneumonia, says the author, I realized that when I get physically sick, my mind plays tricks on me. It's as though a curmudgeon takes hold of my psyche and tells me everything will always be bad forever. Have we been there before? I know I have. They continue. Once I realize consciously what is happening, I usually find humor in this voice. Hearing its chatter reminds me to choose my thoughts more intentionally. When we are physically out of balance, it becomes even more important to deliberately calm our minds. With intensive thoughts focused on well-being and harmony, our bodies will connect with and attune to a higher vibration. So when you are feeling out of sorts physically, I invite you to quiet that voice and release anxiety about the situation. Focus your mind on releasing any fear or stress and know that outer circumstances need not define your inner sense of well-being. Soon, your body and mind will be working in concert for healing and a greater sense of peace. And from Psalm 73, verse 26, my flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. I also want to just share the affirmation for tomorrow because we're having sort of like the release of that which we no longer want to hold for ourselves, right? With I release thoughts or fears of illness. And tomorrow we get invited to go into what do we do want in its place? And the affirmation is, I renew my openness to the healing power of spirit. And so good morning again, Callie and Tina, Francesca, Iris, and everyone else watching. You know, I've been there, right? And I'm sure that some of you have been there too, when all of a sudden we get a diagnosis or we just feel sick and we begin to feel crummy, and how we feel in the body starts to bring our thoughts, invite our thoughts into that crummy feeling also. I love that in Unity we've evolved where before we would only talk about the power of our thoughts. And we've come to realize that actually thoughts do create our experiences, thoughts create our feelings about experiences. But sometimes our feelings actually create thought. It's scientifically been proven that. And so sometimes how we feel within our body, how we feel in the moment, really does start us in a downward spiral of negative thinking and holding on to things that may not be in our best interest to do so. And science has proven, right, that when we are able to release some of that anxiety, some of that stress, some of the negative thinking, we really are able to bring ourselves into a greater space for healing. Because we know that um, releasing anxiety and stress elevates our immune system. Letting go of things that are bringing us down or um, putting too much faith in what is not going well, doing that brings our immune system lower. And so it's a very physical expression of our principles that teaches that thoughts and feelings create our experiences. And so the invitation is for us to just when the mind begins to, the monkey mind begins to talk to us, the question is, what do we do with that? And I just find it so interesting that here we are on April Fools talking about this because for a while now, I've been sitting with just being okay with the monkey mind, not making it wrong or bad or evil, just knowing it's there. And maybe it's some levity that we can bring to the situation. Like sometimes when we have those thoughts of lack, limitation, of illness, of negativity, right? We want to just say, cancel, 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 or just shut it away or push it out. And I get that. And I've tried it many a times. But I feel that when you push it so much, you get resistance, you know? And so, what would it be like if, for example, today, whether it's thoughts of illness or fears of illness or negative thinking, limited thinking, whatever you may call it, what if, especially today, when those thoughts come up, instead of trying to push them down, throw them away, cancel them, we just allow them and then say, "Ha, happy April Fools." Like, good one, mind, right? Like, and rather than being adversarial with it, which in itself, right, is part of that, um, uh, we have to be better than or competition, right? Like that kind of sense of competition, rather than, trying to weigh down. Instead, we just sort of allow it, um, admit to it, are open about having those thoughts, but then just very lightly and jovially say, "Good one. Happy April Fools. You almost got me there, mind. Ha ha ha." And we almost become a friend to those thoughts and let it down easy. And maybe it is through a little bit of humor and a little bit of joy that we can um, uh, honor the feelings that are coming up and walk them into the light, hold their hand into the light for healing. Even when we are warring within ourselves, there's a sense of competition, there's a sense of violence, there's a sense of negativity. And so the more that we can just walk ourselves into the light, into positivity, into an openness for the healing power of spirit to show up and be more fully realized, when we do that in this way, we can bring harmony to ourselves and we can express harmony to ourselves, right? We can express compassion to ourselves. And I have to tell you that compassion, love, harmony is what does bring us to a greater sense of peace. And in that peace, our immune system is elevated, our experience is elevated, and we become more willing to allow spirit and God to do its work within us. And so I just invite you to be with that today. And Tina, I'm so glad that you connected today. You were on my mind actually as I was reading this. And I trust that it supports each of us today in having compassion for ourselves and gently and maybe in a humorous way invite us to be more open to the possibility of health and wholeness in all aspects of our lives. Thank you again for joining us today, and I look forward to connecting with you again. You're all in my hearts, you're all in my prayers, you're all with me. Take care.